Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your journey has already started, even before you realized? So it is. The success you dream so much may be much closer than you think. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's Impact episode. So stay here with me, because what comes next can completely change the way you see your English walk and in life. But before you start, let me tell you something important. You're listening to this video now, and that alone is already a powerful step. Listening, or listening as we call it in English, is one of the most valuable tools for those who really want to evolve. Listening with intention, absorbing the sound of words, understanding the rhythm, tone, pauses, all this shapes your brain to think of English. And the more you expose yourself to this type of content, the more the language is no longer a challenge, and it starts to become part of who you are. And I know how tiring it can be sometimes. It seems that everyone learns faster. It seems that English will never come out natural. You try, study, repeat, but it seems that something is missing. And look, it's okay to feel it. You are not alone. Many people go through exactly this whirlwind of doubts. But let me tell you a truth. If you're here, if you play in this video, it's because there is a flame inside, a real desire. And that is what matters. Then take a deep breath. Allows you to feel this connection, because from now on, we will walk together, and I will show you that your success is not only possible, but it is getting closer and closer. Do you know that moment when you look back and realize that even without realizing it, have you ever made a good way? What, even with doubts, stumbling blocks, comings and goings, have you never really given up? So it is. This is the living proof that your journey has begun. And the most beautiful of all this is that every small step you took here has been building the terrain for its success. The problem is that we often don't see the victories. We only see what is missing, which has not yet learned, what others already know and we don't. But let me tell you something. Every achievement begins invisibly. Before you become fluent, you are already becoming constant. Before you speak with confidence, you are listening carefully. Before you get it right, you're trying, and that's courage. Now think to me, how many times have you thought you wouldn't make it, and did it? How many times did you think you wouldn't understand anything, and did you understand anything? This is evolution, and it happens in silence. The day you decide to hear a video like this instead of rolling without thinking the timeline, the moment you repeat a sentence aloud even if no one is listening. When you make a mistake, you correct yourself and try again. Your success is closer than ever. Not because someone promised you that, but because you are planting every day. And success is a consequence of well-cared for seeds. Even when no one sees. Even when it looks like nothing is changing. And do you know what is most interesting? English is just a part of all this. The language is the tool, but what you are developing goes far beyond. You are gaining discipline, resilience, clarity. It's building a new mindset. It's breaking internal barriers. And all this changes who you are. It changes the way you face the world. Sometimes we expect a magical moment, a clear sign, as if success was a line of arrival that someone will announce with fireworks. But the truth is that success begins when you decide to continue, even on days when it's hard. When you believe a little more about you, even if the voice of doubt shouts louder, there is no way ready. There is a willingness to walk even without all the answers. And English is revealing on the way. It's like setting up a puzzle without seeing the image of the box. You don't understand how everything will fit, until suddenly it begins to make sense. And look, you've been through the hardest parts. Doubt, fear of looking silly, the frustration of making mistakes. If you have overcome it, the rest is training. It is constancy. It is affection with yourself. Because learning a new language is not a race. It is a reunion with its own ability to grow. I know you have seen someone learning English in record time, and perhaps it has compared itself. But let me tell you something that no one tells you. Every mind has a rhythm, and what matters is not the speed, but the direction. You're going forward. It's listening to more, understanding better, speaking of less fear. And even when you don't talk yet, think more about English than before. and that is progress. Now, imagine only 6 months from now. If you keep listening, practicing, believing, where can you be? Can you imagine watching a movie without subtitles, understanding an entire song, talking to someone from another country without stopping? This is in your future. But it depends on what you do today, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just need to be constant. 1 video a day, a 5-minute audio, a repetition of sentences aloud. All of this is adding. And when you least expect it, you will realize that it no longer translates everything. What certain words come alone. That you can think directly in English. And do you know what will happen that day? You will smile. You will remember the time when I found it impossible. And you will realize that the secret was never to have talent. The secret has always been to continue, even in fear, even tired, even doubting. Your success is close. Not because someone gave you guarantees, but because you are building, day after day, a version of you that does not give up, who believes, that follows. And if today you still feel that you are not where you would, that's fine. This only shows that you have big dreams, that you want more. And this is beautiful. Because English is not just a language. He is the bridge. It is the key that opens doors. That's what will connect you with opportunities, people, cultures, new versions of yourself. But for this to happen, you need to continue. Even when motivation fails, keep the habit. Even when you think you are not learning anything. Keep listening. The brain learns in silence, in the invisible. And suddenly, everything flourishes. Then I ask you, don't give up. It does not slow down. Do not compare. Because your journey is unique. And you are much closer to the success of what you think. Now look around. Realize where you are. Realizes how much has walked. And you feel that. You are in motion. And who is in motion is growing. You have already started. And that is all. Now closes your eyes for a moment and imagine you, in a while, using English naturally. Imagine you in a real conversation, flowing, laughing, responding without having to translate each word. Feel it. Can you imagine how liberating it would be? Because this version of you is already on your way. And the most curious thing is that every second you dedicate today is feeding this transformation. You don't have to have all the answers now. The important thing is to keep the flame on. Because learning English and growing in life is not about giant steps every day. It is about persisting when no one is seeing. It's about having patience with the process and confidence in your effort. I know that sometimes we feel alone on this journey. It seems that everyone has more time, easier, more energy. But look, your journey is yours alone. It doesn't matter if the neighbor has learned in 3 months or if anyone said that you have been over the age. All of this are external noises. What really matters? It's your pace, your truth, and your heart saying it is worth continuing. Because it is worth, yes. Every new word you learn, every phrase you understand without subtitles, each time you hear this type of content, you are reprogramming your mind. And that has immeasurable value. You are giving yourself a chance to win something that will accompany you forever. Think to me. English opens doors, puts you on another professional level, connects you with the world, makes you access content that does not exist translated, and the most beautiful of all, gives you freedom. Freedom to travel, to understand, to communicate, to be who you want to be. What if I told you that all this has started? What, by the time you decided to learn, has the change been activated within you? It is like a planted seed. She does not bear fruit on the first day, but she is already alive. It is already growing inside, and when you least expect it, it breaks the earth and blooms. Have you ever had that feeling of one day, realizing that something that was once difficult now seems simple? What something you fought so much to understand? Now it looks natural? This is the reflection of constancy. It is the invisible magic of learning. And that's where your courage comes in. Yes, courage. Because it takes courage to keep trying when there is no guarantees, to repeat the same phrases when no one is listening, to expose yourself, even for fear of making mistakes. And you're doing it. You are being brave. And that makes you giant. Maybe no one tells you this in your daily life. Perhaps the world is always hurrying, charging results pressing. But here, I want you to feel valued. Because I see your effort. I see your dedication. And I want to remind you, you are capable. English is not just about grammar and vocabulary. He is about allowing himself, open, out of the comfort zone. It's about reinventing yourself. And all of this requires an inner strength that you perhaps didn't even know you had. But she's there, inside you, alive, pulsating, waiting for your yes. And let me tell you something very important. Your progress doesn't have to be perfect to be real. You don't have to get everything right now. No need to understand everything. You just need to keep showing up. Keep listening. Keep trying. Because each attempt is a brick in the castle of fluency. And castles, my friend, they don't get built in one day, but when they get ready, they last centuries. Have you ever thought how English can change your life? Imagine you get a better job. Imagine an interview where you impress with fluent English. Imagine you studying outside, making a dream trip, understanding everything without having to depend on anyone. This is not a fantasy. This is a possible destination, a future that is there, ahead, waiting for you. And the way there, it started. And yes, it will have a difficult day. There will be a day that the brain seems to crash. It will have content that seems impossible to understand. But these days, you will remember, I don't need to understand everything. I just need not stop. And when you adopt this mindset, nothing prevents you. Because you get out of charge and enter love. Love for the process. Love for what you are building. Love for yourself. Look, the world is full of distractions, of shortcuts, of empty promises. But you chose something different. You chose to grow, chose to learn. And that already puts you in a prominent place. The simple fact that you are listening to this now, seeking to absorb each word, already shows that you are thirsty for change. And believe me, the universe responds to that. Opportunities begin to appear. The right connections arrive. The right doors open. But it all starts with this step, the decision to continue. And if today you feel that you are still far from success, breathe. Because the journey is as important as fate. What you learn on the way, the person you become, all this is part of your victory. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Be afraid of not trying. Because who tries is already winning. It is already building a new reality. And look, I'm here with you, not as someone who knows everything, but as someone who believes in the power of effort, believes in transformation. He believes each one has a time, a way, a story, and that every story deserves to be told proudly, including yours. So the next time the discouragement beats, remember that. You're not starting from scratch. You are starting from the experience, of the attempt, of the path already treaded. And that is worth gold. And if someone doubts you, let it doubt it. Your commitment is to your truth, with your dreams, with what makes your heart vibrate. Because in the end, only you will live the fruits of this journey. Your success is right there. And you are getting closer and closer. Not because someone said, but because you chose to continue. And that is powerful. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep believing. Because every little effort will lead you to great achievements. Now that we have gotten here, take a deep breath. Closes your eyes for a moment. Feel how yours is already yours. You are not starting from scratch. You are starting with history, with attempts, with moments lived. And that makes you much more prepared than you think. Today's message is simple but deep. Your journey has begun, and your success is close. Closer than you think. Because success is not a fixed point on the horizon. Success is this constant evolution, this more step every day, this I won't give up that lives there inside you. So today, even today, do something for you. Watch another video in English. Repeat a few phrases aloud. Take a song you like and try to understand each word. But mostly, listen. Respect yourself. Recognize yourself. You're doing well. Even if it seems slow, even if no one sees, even if you still have insecurity. because whoever continues has already won themselves. And this is the biggest victory of all. Remember, learning need not be heavy. It can be light. It can be part of your routine in a natural way. Therefore, keep content that inspire you around. Like this one, because listening to positive, incentive, real vocabulary messages helps your mind open to the new. And the more you hear, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the more confident you get to talk. So enjoy this moment. Write in the comments what touched you most in this video. Which part spoke to your heart? I want to know. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now. This is your space. Here's the place where you find strength to continue and motivation to go further. Oh, and activates the bell, okay? So you don't lose any new episode. Every week has more content like this, done with love, to remind you of how much you can. Thank you for being here. Thanks for believing. Even on difficult days. I believe in you. And I wait for you in the next video with more words that strengthen you. In English and in life. Until then, it doesn't stop. It does not slow down. Continues. Because your success, it's right there.